Imagine stumbling upon an ancient treasure map, not drawn on flimsy papyrus, but etched into a sheet of pure copper. That's exactly what happened in 1952, when archaeologists, exploring a cave near the Dead Sea, found something completely unique among the famous Dead Sea Scrolls. This wasn't a religious text or a historical record. It was a treasure list, an ancient inventory of unimaginable wealth, now known as the Copper Scroll. What makes this scroll so captivating? Unlike the other scrolls written on parchment and papyrus, this one was deliberately made to last, engraved into metal as if to protect its secrets for eternity. When researchers finally managed to carefully cut it open, they were stunned. The text describes 64 different locations where a staggering amount of gold and silver was supposedly hidden. We're not talking about a few coins here. The scroll lists tons of precious metals. Literally, tons. Modern estimates place the value of this treasure well into the billions of dollars. It describes caches of gold bullion, silver bars, priestly vestments, and other sacred items, all buried in secret spots throughout the Judean wilderness. The sheer scale of the treasure immediately sparked a massive question. Where did it all come from? One of the most popular theories is that this is the lost treasure of the Second Temple of Jerusalem. In 70 AD, as the Roman army attacked Jerusalem, priests hid the temple's huge wealth. They etched secrets onto pure metal, knowing it would survive war and time, creating the Copper Scroll as a guide for its recovery once the conflict was over. The descriptions of priestly garments and tithes listed in the scroll lend strong support to this idea. It would have been a desperate act to save the sacred heritage of a nation from being plundered by invaders. But there's another compelling theory. Some historians believe the treasure belongs to a later period, specifically the Bar Kokhba revolt around 132 AD. This was the last major Jewish rebellion against Roman rule. The rebels would have needed a massive war chest to fund their fight. The treasure could have been collected from supporters across Judea, and the scroll was a secret ledger of their finances, hidden away for safekeeping. This theory explains the more common, everyday language used in the scroll, which differs from the formal Hebrew of earlier texts. It paints a picture of a guerrilla army, fighting for freedom and hiding their resources from the most powerful empire in the world. With a map in hand, you'd think finding the treasure would be the easy part, a simple matter of following the coordinates to a life-changing fortune. But the reality of the Judean desert is far more unforgiving. For decades, archaeologists and treasure hunters have tried to decipher the scroll's clues, but it has been an incredibly frustrating quest. The descriptions are maddeningly vague. For example, a typical entry might read something like, "In the cistern which is under the wall of the east. In a recess, its opening is north. 60 cubits from the mouth of the cistern lie 1900 bars of silver." It sounds specific, but which cistern? Which wall? The landscape of Judea has changed dramatically over 2,000 years. Landmarks have eroded, buildings have crumbled to dust, and place names have been long forgotten. The scroll was written for someone who already knew the area intimately, not for modern explorers. It's like trying to follow directions given by a ghost in a land that no longer exists. Many of the locations mentioned are around Jerusalem and Jericho. But despite extensive searches and high-tech surveys using ground-penetrating radar and metal detectors, not a single item from the list has ever been conclusively found. Some scholars suggest that maybe some of the treasure was recovered in ancient times by the people who originally hid it. Others speculate that the Romans might have captured someone who knew the locations and tortured the information out of them. Every expedition has hit a dead end, leaving the treasure just as lost as it was the day the scroll was sealed. This long history of failure has led to a major debate in the academic world. Is the treasure even real? The sheer amount of gold and silver described in the scroll is so immense that some experts question whether such a hoard could have even existed in ancient Judea. It would have represented a significant portion of the entire Roman Empire's economy at the time. This has led some to propose that the Copper Scroll isn't a literal treasure map at all. Instead, it could be a work of folklore or religious fiction, a symbolic text representing the spiritual treasures of Israel or a future messianic redemption. Perhaps it was a story meant to inspire hope in a time of great despair, a legend of lost glory waiting to be restored. However, the counterargument is strong. Why go to the immense trouble and expense of engraving this detailed list onto a valuable sheet of copper if it was just a story? The meticulous detail, the specific weights, and the matter-of-fact tone of the writing all suggests a real inventory. It doesn't read like a myth. It reads like an accountant's ledger. The creators of this scroll clearly wanted it to survive for a very, very long time, which seems unnecessary for a simple piece of fiction. The debate continues to rage, with compelling arguments on both sides, making the scroll's true nature as mysterious as the treasure it describes. So, what are we left with today? The copper scroll sits in a museum in Jordan, its secrets still locked away. The treasure, whether real or symbolic, remains unfound. It's a tantalizing mystery that has captivated the public imagination for over 70 years. It combines the thrill of a treasure hunt with the weight of ancient history and the echoes of a lost world. Perhaps the real treasure isn't the billions in gold and silver buried somewhere in the desert. Maybe the real treasure is the story itself, a story of faith, desperation, and enduring hope that continues to inspire curiosity and wonder in all of us. As the sun sets over the rugged cliffs of Qumran, we are left to wonder if the 64 locations etched in metal will ever truly be found. For 2,000 years, the desert has kept its silence, burying the wealth of a fallen temple beneath layers of dust and legend. It's a reminder that some secrets are meant to stay hidden, challenging us to keep searching for the truth among the shadows of the past. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. The Copper Scroll continues to guard its secrets, and perhaps the gold is still out there, waiting in the silence of the desert. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like and subscribe for more forgotten clues.